Welcome to Conversation with Zaki Baruti, with your host Zaki Baruti. And like always, I want to give a shout out to my biological family. What's happening? To the Universal African Peoples Organization family, what's going on? And to New Life Evangelistic Center family headed by Reverend Rice. Keep up the great work. And a shout out to our amazing cameraman Bob. On that note, we'll have another great show because in studio with me, I have a young, beautiful, and intelligent young lady that is working to make a difference in our community. And I'm speaking none other than Shante Duncan,
yes, sir.
Who is the founder of Sisters Helping Each Other Reach a Higher Height. Welcome, Shante.
Thank you.
Okay, then. First of all, when I begin all my shows, I always like, the audience to know a little bit about the background of the person I'm interviewing. Wherever you want folks to know about you, would you share,
Yes, so my name is Shante Duncan. I'm originally from North City. I'm a St. Louis center.
North City.
North City. I grew up.
And when you say North City, because we have other people outside of this city, you're talking about North City where?
North City, North St. Louis. I grew up in North St. Louis, Jefferson Vanderloo community. I am a product of St. Louis Public Schools. I went to Dunbar Elementary School. I went to Blewett. And then I graduated from Gateway because, that is a St. Louis thing. Like, high school, I went to Gateway. That's a start about who I am. I'm just a St. Louis and, person.
Okay, then. Yeah. Now, you're the founder of an organization that has an interesting name, mm-hmm. Sisters Helping Each Other Reach a Higher Height.
Yes, sir.
SHERAH.
Yes,
okay.
Sir.
What motivated you to found that organization, and when did you do it, and what is the purpose?
Yes, sir. So SHERAH was founded March 6, 2004. I founded SHERAH because I was a young student at the time in my early 20s going through some life challenges, and I didn't necessarily know how to process those challenges or move through them. And I figured...
Well, let me stop you at that. Mm-hmm. The life challenges.
Yes, sir.
Would you like to share some of the life challenges that you
I was going through a breakup.
Oh, okay.
So I was going through a breakup, but...
Within your marriage?
No, I wasn't married at the time. I was in a relationship with a person. We had started a magazine here locally. We were doing a lot of pretty cool things together. But we decided to break up, and the breakup for me was a little devastating. I was young.
Your heart was broken.
Oh, my heart was broken. And I did not know how to process that. But deeper than that, I also knew that I had a skill, a talent, a power that I didn't necessarily know how to tap. So I wanted to get to a point in my life where I was that person that I knew I could be. And I figured in order to do that, I needed to seek support from other sisters. I figured it had to be other women in this community that knew that they were called to do something great, but didn't necessarily know how to get there. Like that breakup was that push for me to really discover who I was called to be.
Oh, okay then. So in terms of what you was called to be, so in your analysis, what have you been called to be?
Well, I started SHERAH. Again, for that whole process was just a healing process for me. I just wanted to heal and become a better version of myself. But in that process, women from all over the region started showing up to those circle spaces, and it became something so much more. And in that space, I really recognized that if we could heal women, we could genuinely heal communities. We could heal nations, as they would say, heal a woman, heal a nation, right? I really believe that we could do that. So we set on a whole another journey to create these safe spaces for Black women and girls so that we can go through these healing processes and become better versions of ourselves to aid in the well-being of our communities and family structures.
Okay, so the mission then was to heal sisters that might be emotionally hurt and that kind of thing?
Not even just emotionally hurt. I think a lot of us as Black women and girls, we've experienced serious trauma. Another component of the work that we do with SHERAH is a program called the Love Project. At one point during the Love Project, I was working with about 500 girls a week. We did a survey. Over half of those girls had experienced some form of sexual violence. Now, these are young girls, not even 18 years old. So it's more than just healing, like, relationship breakups. That was traumatizing for me. That pushed me into another version of myself, or at least the exploration of who I could possibly be. But some of us experience serious trauma, sexual violence, being violated by people that we know. And if we don't get the proper support, because it's really taboo in our community to talk about certain things, if we don't get the proper support, we grow into traumatized women. And then they look at us like, why can't we show up like this? Because we're carrying a lot of trauma from our experiences.
So within your mission work, you mentioned you have touched on 500 people. So
just the girls through a program.
Your girls. So how many programs? How many programs do you have?
Okay, so SHERAH itself, we have a membership. We're a membership-based organization, and we host healing circles in the community for women. That's one aspect of what we do.
And how often do you do that?
Those circles happen twice a month. Twice a month.
Okay.
And then we do some other things. At one point, we did a conference for women. We did a retreat. So we, offer different things, and then different packages that come along with, or benefits that come along with the membership. And then we have the Love Project, which is a school-based program for young girls between the ages of 9 and 18, maybe. And that program is created to offer young girls in the school setting a safe space to explore self-love, sisterhood. We talk about community development and entrepreneurship.
So that's directly at schools?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Schools. And then if we have like community access, community centers, different places where we can be more community-based, we take advantage of that as well. But for the most part, it's known as a school-based program.
So what schools are, and I'll hold this question because we got to take a break.
Do you have any idea how many people are having to sleep outside? Yes, viewers of the Zaki Baruti Show, you are being called into action at this time. Your help is urgently needed here at the New Life Evangelistic Center. Our teams are going out every day, and we need your prayers. We need your gifts here because we receive no city, state, or federal dollars. How many times I have to personally run to the store in order to just buy meat and bread? People could be making sandwiches and bringing them to the doors here at 2428 Woodson Road in Overland, Missouri. They could be buying cases of water and bringing them here so we can get these out to the homeless people. 2428 Woodson Road in Overland, Missouri. They could write out those checks and send them in because we have to buy this. They're depending upon us. And not only that, they get bus tickets, hundreds and even thousands of bus tickets distributed to so many people who need transportation assistance. We can't do it without each and every one of you. It's New Life Evangelistic Center, P.O. Box 473, St. Louis, Missouri. That's 63166. You can give online at nlecstl.org. Your prayers are urgently needed at this time. Come on, you watch the Zaki Baruti Show. You hear about the various issues. Now it's important that we respond to those issues by helping so many people that have fallen through the safety nets in spite of the promises of the politicians. So many people are hurting right now. They're out there. They don't know where to go. What are they doing? I don't see hardly anything in St. Louis County, Jefferson County, St. Francis County. I can mention county after county, Madison County, St. Clair County. They want to ship them to St. Louis. St. Louis can't take care of all the problems. But we got to get all these other counties involved. In the meantime, we got to get your church involved. We need you. I've got a book I've written that if you'd like a copy of that, it's called The Case for Compassion. We'll be happy to share that with you if you request it. When you send in your gift to New Life Evangelistic Center, P.O. Box 473, St. Louis, Missouri, that's 63166. You can give online at nlecstl.org. It's called The Case for Compassion, citing over 2,000 Bible verses that are used throughout the Scriptures, and yet we don't hear about this. I preach like we should. You can get a copy for your minister. But let's get our churches involved. Let's reach out. Let's help those that Jesus referred to. The least of these, after you've done to them, you've done it unto him. Let's help them right now. Please get involved. Call us at 314-421-3020 or share that much-needed gift at P.O. Box 473, St. Louis, Missouri. That's 63166. You can give online at nlecstl.org.
As the temperature plummets, men and women are going to die on the streets. St. Louis, Missouri. If you don't get involved today, we need you to get involved now, more than ever before, as hundreds of people are experiencing cold, bitter nights, wind blowing at fast temperatures. Please help us today to serve them and to minister the love of Christ to them. Call 314-421-3020 or go online to nlecstl.org to give your gift today and save a life this winter.
Welcome back to Conversation with Zaki Baruti. In studio with me, Shante Duncan. She's the founder of Sisters Helping Each Other Reach a Higher Height. SHERAH. Okay. On the other side of the break, I was looking at asking you in terms of when you come together on those safe places, what are you defining as safe places, and what take place in the healing process?
Yes, sir. So a safe space for us is defined as a place where we can show up as our authentic selves. One of the rules that we have in a sister circle is you come unmasked. You don't have to send your representative. Be who you are, because in this space we're enough. Your titles don't matter. Your economic status does not matter. Just who you are naturally that's all you need. And then that makes the safe space because it becomes judgment free. It's just a place where we can really say, okay, this is who I am. This is what I'm dealing with. I know on the surface it may look this way, but this is what I'm genuinely dealing with, and I need support to navigate it. So in those spaces, we do lots of different things. We do meditation. Sometimes we do journal writing. Sometimes we have open dialogue. We may have speakers come in to talk about certain things. And then other times we just have healthy foods. We'll do like a vegetarian potluck and wine. So it just depends, because healing looks like lots of different things. And then it could be times where we have people that come in and give us massages or teach us a new like healing technique, things like that. So it shows up in lots of different ways.
So I guess out of those programs, and if folks become healed, they create a nice sister bond.
Oh, yes.
Kind of real tough.
One of the things that I am most proud of with the work with SHERAH is that, we really defy stereotypes, especially with like when not social media, but the reality TV was like big, and it was showing all negative aspects of like Black women and what we look like. Oh my God, the fighting. I was like, we never had that. Like, it was never that. It was never like where women would feel unsafe telling their absolute truth. Like, oh, girl, I'm struggling with money. Or my marriage is going through this. Or I know on the surface I appear this way, but this is how I really feel about myself. Like, we were able, oh, sis, I got you because I've been through that too. Oh, girl, I went through a divorce and this is my lawyer. Or I went through counseling to heal my marriage, whatever. But we were more resourceful. And I said, I think this is the truth of what sisterhood looks like. And then when we go back into history and we learn about how our sisters, just in tradition, gravitated towards each other and supported each other, that's why the mission or the name is Sisters Helping Each Other Reach a Higher Height, because our whole intention is to help each other become better versions of ourselves. It's no intimidation, and we are very intentional about defying stereotypes. We are not what they say we are.
I know that's right. And what are those stereotypes?
Oh, Black women are ghetto, we loud, we angry, we do too. And I have the mannerisms. I'm a sister, right? But that's just cultural for us. But we're not angry. Sometimes we are angry, and in most cases our anger is just, right? Because we've experienced so many things, not only outside of community, but within community. Sometimes, we do have our mannerisms. It's just, like I said, it's cultural, but lots of different negative things about how we show up in spaces. But at the same time, we're also that community of people that are looked at to save things. They love to call on Black women when things need to be saved, but in overall, they don't have the temperament to take us on.
And I think Black women are overall statistically one of the highest voting percentages of the population, or close to it.
Yes, sir.
So going back to your work in the schools, how receptive were the administrators for your program coming there, and how do you see the success of your program with the students, and where are your spaces the schools that you go to? Yes,
sir. So currently, we've scaled back tremendously. Currently, we're working with about 4 different groups at Maplewood, Richmond Heights. So we're in that district now. But we've been all over the region. We've been in Rockwood. And I'll tell that story. Like, Rockwood was the district that kind of gave us an opportunity, right? I have been reaching out to lots of different school districts, talking about this wonderful concept for a program. We were new. It was other programs that were successful, So it was very difficult for us to get into the schools originally. And then I was in...
You're talking about like the St. Louis Public Schools?
Yes, St. Louis Public Schools, or just any of the schools.
Okay.
We sent communications to all of them, And because, we didn't have the ends or the contacts, how it goes, it was really difficult for us originally. I was in the right place at the right time one day, and I met Dr. Terry Harris. He was, I think, the director of educational services or something like that out at Rockwood. He piloted the Love Project there with the Black girls that were being bused into the district, so the DSEC students. And it was a hit. The girls loved it. And so we continue to grow. One of the things that we've seen in those spaces is the number of Black girls being suspended decreased as a result of that space. Because sometimes they just need someone they can relate to help them navigate certain things.
So our audience are clear then. So Rockwood was basically almost a predominantly white district.
Oh, yes, it is a predominantly white district.
Which had a number of Black students being transferred from the St. Louis public school system to that county system.
Yes, sir.
And your program was targeting the Black students who was coming in.
Yes, we were asked to.
Okay.
Originally, the program wasn't for DSEC students, so to speak, right? It was just for Black girls, wherever they were. But in this particular case, they were Black girls who were being bused into a predominantly white district. And then the whole concept of what we were offering them shifted, because then they started sharing with us some of the things that they experienced in those types of spaces that we may not even consider. Because most of the times when parents bus their children, they think of the benefits. Oh, they got better better technology. The classrooms are smaller. The lunches are better, right? They think about what is better. They don't think about what it is really like for those students navigating that space. You are a Black person, right? And in some cases, they look at us as poor, right? Poor Blacks being bused into a predominantly white district and what is perceived as a wealthy district.
Right.
So those children are navigating a lot. They dealt with so much racism. We literally spent most of our curriculum, we didn't ever get to talk about entrepreneurship. We literally spent most of the time building up their self-esteem so that they could figure out how to navigate that space, knowing that they were worthy.
So how long were you in that?
Wow, I was in the Rockwood School District from 2016 up until 23 when the board voted our programs out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I was a part of
they said enough.
Enough is enough. We weren't serving all of their students, those types of
Well,
things.
look here, we'll have to take a quick break.
Yes, sir.
Behind me is the New Life Evangelistic Center administrative offices in Overland, Missouri. And this is where we shoot our shows for our worship shows and the Here's Help Network. And it's also where Zaki Baruti and Bernie Hayes shoot their shows. You can find all of these shows at the New Life Evangelistic Center app, the NLEC TV app. You can also access them on your tablet or on your computer. And this is how you can stay up to date with all the things that New Life Evangelistic Center is doing. There are so many different programs that we've got going on, and God is doing many exciting things through partners like you. So if you want to support the work that New Life is doing, then please access and give through the app. You can go online at nlecstl.org or give us a call at 314-421-3020. Again, 314-421-3020. But this is the best way to get plugged into the amazing work that New Life is doing through people like you. And so there is something for you to get involved in today. And we are so thankful for our partners. Only through the grace of God and your gift are we able to bless others today.
Yes, it's cold outside. And does the temperature ever fluctuate throughout the mid-American area? But imagine being outside, being homeless, having no place to call home. New Life Evangelistic Center first responders were out there when it's 5 degrees and below. They're out there when it's 30 degrees, 20 degrees. New Life has 3 teams. They're out there daily looking for hurting and homeless people. And we need you praying for us at this particular time. And if God lays it on your heart to volunteer, please call us at 314-421-3020. And for many of you that are not able to volunteer, please share a very special gift. Please send your gift now to New Life Evangelistic Center, P.O. Box 473, St. Louis, Missouri, that's 63166, or go to nlecstl.org.
Welcome back to Conversation with Zaki. I'm speaking to a dynamic young visionary, beautiful sister, intelligent sister, Shante Duncan, who found his sisters helping each other reach a higher height. On the other side of the break, in between the break, you were sharing that you have another program?
Yes, sir.
And what is that program?
So that program is the Joan B. Quinn Safe House, and it's named after my great-grandmother, who is still alive with us today.
Oh, praise be.
Yes, I'm very grateful. So that was an honor for her. But the Safe House is a residential facility where we provide a 12-month program for women who are recovering from domestic and sexual violence. So at the height of our sexual violence awareness, SHERAH dealt a lot with trafficking and how it shows up in the Black community. We did a lot of work around educating community members on what that really looks like, opposed to taking information from social media, only being leery of a white van, that type of stuff, which, it happens that way, but it was so many other things that happened right in front of us. And without that proper information, we wouldn't recognize that we were looking at trafficking. Sometimes we would just trump it up to say, oh, she's a prostitute, or, maybe she on drugs and selling herself. But in some cases, they could, in fact, be victims of trafficking. So we spent a lot of time educating our community about that. And then the Safe House is designed to help women heal from that. So it's a 12-month program, completely free. It's a small facility. We have 7 beds. But since we opened...
So how long can a person stay there then?
12 months. And
12
completely
months.
Free. The only so we have it charted where in the first 30 days, just kind of get acclimated. After that, we kind of get them on the track to success, so to speak, where they start, they become integrated into the programming in the house, waking up at a certain time, having to work out, having chores, participating in other programs from other organizations. Like we did some work with the YWCA. I think it's Healing Action. We've done some work with them. So other organizations that cater to women who are healing from some form of violence.
So approximately how many people have you dealt with in that program?
64 women have gone through the program. Okay. Not all have been successful.
Right.
It's a hard thing to recover from. And in most of those cases, in a lot of those cases, women become addicted to drugs. And we, at this time, we don't have capacity to help them navigate that. So we have to refer them out to other agencies that can help with that.
Okay, then. Well, I really appreciate your work expanding that conversation. Now, you recently joined the Universal African Peoples Organization, which I'm head of the organization. Why did you join our organization?
Because I am all about my people. And I'm about community, and your organization has been on the ground for a very long time, working to create a pathway for us to be who we were designed to be. So it's very in alignment with the work that I've already been doing, just working, but with a more cultural, component. Like this is with a cultural focus, and that's what we're about, so.
I know that's right. And what are we designed to be? You made a statement about.
Just our very best selves. I think whatever we figure, I think each of us individually have a specific calling, but overall as a community of people of color, of Black people, it's time that we understand the power that we have, recognize that we're not second-class citizens, and that we don't need to continuously ask for a seat at anybody else's table. We have all of the tools and resources within our own community, within our own culture, to navigate this country and be who we, to make our ancestors proud.
So with that said, what do you see as the top 3 problems facing Black people in particular and the country in general?
Wow.
Moving forward.
Wow. Well, the state of our politics is one.
And what do you mean about the state of our politics?
Well, with the current leadership that we have, I think, as they can dress it up as much as they want, but it looks like it'll be an all-out attack on people of color. It will inevitably impact Black people. And the perceived advances that we have made in their DEI programming, just in their corporate worlds, it'll impact us. So that navigating that, I don't know what that will look like for us in terms of unemployment, things like that. Of course, crime is always an issue that we have to navigate. Affordable housing, gentrification, that type of stuff, I think are the things that we would probably need to look at navigating as a culture. But more importantly for me, I think we should also start having internal conversations about why do we feel that it's important for us to have these seats at tables that they don't really serve us. I think we need to create a new narrative for ourselves as Black people.
Okay, on that note, we're going to take our last break.
Sorry.
If you've got a pulse, you've got a purpose. You're a spark plug for change at this particular moment. If you'll simply call upon the Lord at this time and say, Lord, reveal your purpose for me. Give me the assurance of your presence. Help me to know that I can do all things through you, Christ Jesus, who strengthens me. 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 16 tells us this, that we can know God's will. Let His purpose live in us and through us. Rejoice always. Pray continually, giving thanks in all circumstances, for this is God's will for you in Christ Jesus. You're facing problems? Don't panic. Pray. Remember what He tells you here in Philippians chapter 4, 6, and 7? Be anxious for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving. Let your requests be made known to God, and the peace of God that surpasses all comprehensions will guard your hearts and minds in Christ Jesus. You got a pulse? You got a purpose. Let's live it out now and watch Him do exceedingly beyond what you can even ask or think. Remember, a mustard seed of faith can move that mountain. Let's exercise that faith, and let's see the great things God has for us.
Deuteronomy chapter 15, verses 10 to 11.
Give generously to the poor, and do so without a grudging heart. Then because of this, the Lord your God will bless you in all your work and in everything you put your hand to. There will always be poor people in the land. Therefore I command you to be open-handed toward your brothers and toward the poor and needy in your land.
Welcome back to Conversation with Zaki Baruti, and we only have a couple more minutes with our guest, Miss Shante Duncan, who found that sisters helping each other reach a higher height. Now, if people out here want to contact you and know more about what you're doing, or even assist you and what have you, how would they be able to get in contact with you?
Well, they could go to our website. It's www.sherahmovement.org. We have a contact form. It's also a place where they can kind of navigate the site, learn more about who we are, what we've been doing, but they can contact us that way through the website.
And what if someone just want to call you?
314-479-8681. And I'm genuinely a people person, a community-based person, because that's my personal cell.
Oh, okay. All right.
But that's how they can get in contact with me.
So if anybody interested, you can directly contact
Yes.
So, on the other side of the break, you were laying out some of the issues that you saw impacting Black people in particular. You have now been thrust into leadership to say this is some things that we need to do.
Wow.
So what would be some of the things that you think that our community needs to do to counter what you perceive, as well as myself, some devastating policies coming from the White House? What are some of the things that you would advocate?
Of course, supporting Black-owned businesses, supporting ourselves. Figuring out the organizations like your organization that exists where we can pull resources to make a larger impact. Those are the things that I think focusing inward, right? Opposed to being reactionary to what's happening outside of us, to really figure out as a community, how do we focus inward? How do we start redirecting our resources? Black people in this country remind me of a picture I saw. It floats on social media where there was some people under a table and there was people eating at the table. They were holding the table up while these other people were eating, and all they needed to do was stand up, and it's over. So I feel like we need to collectively figure out, how do we stand up?
Okay.
How do we stand up? And I think, the economics is one of the ways that we can do that, and then from that, we can start building out other things for ourselves.
Okay, so with that note, I want to thank you for sharing your thoughts, and to the audience, again, as always, we say first be a voter, but know the issues before you go vote, as well as join an organization that speaks truth to power and has a track record. We say join the Universal African Peoples Organization, and you can go to our website at www.uapo.org. On that note, may God bless each and every one of you, and a special blessings to you.
Thank you.